This
Yeah,
conference will now be recorded.
you're on mute, Andre.
Can y'all hear me?
We
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the RMC support group for August. Hopefully, everyone has been doing well and has some updates that they would like to share. I guess I'll kick it off with my own update. I had scans August that 7th, 8th, somewhere around there, but I had scans and everything's still clear. So I was diagnosed 5 years ago. They gave me 4 months, and I'm still here 5 years later. And I just want to, I know it's hard, when you're going and getting scans, just hearing from the doctors, that the cancer has become resistant, and then they want to go switch the regimen and stuff like that. But just stay encouraged. I heard those same things or whatever. Dr. Masal stuck in there with me or whatever, and eventually I heard, hey, scans clear, uh, and I've been hearing them ever since. So now I am. I only got to go to MD Anderson once a year. And I told him to make it in March, same time as the walk every year. So that's when I'm gonna have my scans, Miss Richie. So I should be able to walk every year. No.
Okay. I was wondering why you were asking, so I'm trying to get it so you'll know right for sure.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. I told him it's normally the third Saturday
Mhm.
March every year. So, but he said we can always adjust it. So
Okay.
no worries. Um, so yeah, that's my good news. So kicking this thing off right. Um, so moving on. Alexa, as far as needing time, who all needed time? Um,
Jennifer needed time tonight. I don't know if we have any new people. Richie, do we have any new people tonight?
Yes, Misty.
All right.
okay.
So Misty gets to go first.
All right. Yeah, we'll start with Misty. Welcome to the RMC support group. This is we're like family here or whatever. We share our shared experiences, our shared journeys, and try to be free. Um, as possible, and hopefully we can help others along the way. So, if you don't mind introducing yourself and let us know how you're associated with RMC.
And let you know how what was the last part? Pardon me?
Just associated with RMC.
Oh, sure. Yeah, got it. So my name is Misty. I'm in Atlanta. I got the privilege and opportunity to connect with Richie last month as she was traveling here. I found Richie from an infamous Facebook post where the person wrote their own obituary. And so I emailed her probably at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm here because my 12-year-old daughter has RMC. She was just diagnosed April 4th. She had biopsies on April 1st. And before that, she had about 8 to 10 weeks of lower back pain. She started with a cough, a headache, and then she had hip and abdominal pain and blood in her urine. And we had been to the chiropractor, the orthopedist, and physical therapy because she's pubescent and she was growing so much. I just thought it was musculoskeletal until she had blood in her urine. And we went to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, the Aflac Cancer Center, once they identified it from her biopsies. And they were very clear that the prognosis wasn't good. And so they never made a mistake about telling me that. But so Elvie ended up being so sick that she was intubated and sedated in ICU for 3 weeks. And so she was too sick to get a PET scan in the beginning. And so all we had was her antigen 125 to go by, and it was 2000 on April 4th. And now it is 28. So I mean, she has had scans. She because they piecemealed her together essentially. What was initially wrong, they actually said in her abdominal CT, they called her tumor an abscess, and they were worried about her liver because her liver is what the pediatrician found in her blood work. So we were initially admitted to the hospital and on the liver ward, and they were all arguing. They were treating us like we were in the Ebola ward because they thought she had tuberculosis and hepatitis, and the infectious disease, rheumatology, hepatology, nobody could get they couldn't coordinate how they were going to do her biopsies until we just begged them to just do something, because she walked in there fine with a little cough, a headache, some back pain, and occasional, blood in her urine, to where in 4 days she could barely make it to the bathroom. So they ended up doing just needle aspiration biopsies, and they did a bronchoscopy. But she was so sick that they weren't able to extubate her from the bronchoscopy, and so that was nightmarish. But she lost 25 pounds, and she was only 110 to begin with, 115 to begin with. But so anyway, we eventually got the PET, but so the scans that came back July 18th said that of the places that metastasized, it's gone, there's no new metastasis, it's shrunk, and the actual tumor in her kidney looks more like a scar now than an abscess. So we are about 45 to 60 days away from her kidney removal, and we haven't met with the urologist yet. They're doing one more scan in 2 weeks, 10 days, to use that's just of the kidney, to determine if they're taking the whole kidney or part of the kidney. So that's probably the biggest thing I could learn from at this point is I just have what I read is everybody takes their whole kidney. And so, I invited Elvie's dad and and Elvie's stepmom, but Elvie had an unplanned infusion today. Her platelets were 5K, and her white blood cells were almost none. She caught something on going back to school last week and during her last chemo Thursday. So, and then Elvie actually has epilepsy as well, so she had to go to her biannual neurology appointment, and so they've been out in the car since 7:30 this morning, and it's almost 8:30, so they opted to not participate tonight, but they will in the future. And so I'm in my home office, but I have Elvie's picture here. It's a little glary, and so yeah. So yeah, that's where we are. I mean, it was nightmarish. There's no way to explain seeing her intubated, sedated, I mean, at one time she had 3 poles they were full. We just got her off methadone last week. I know there's a lot more to come. I'm grateful, happy, ecstatic, but I also feel like I hold my breath a lot because it's been such a roller coaster that it changes daily. And so, yeah, that's it, I guess. So.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Misty. And feel free, if you have any questions, along the way, feel free to pop in and, ask those questions at any time. Um, Several of us on the call, have been through RMC, and we got some caregivers on the call as well. And so, yeah, any questions you may have, feel free throughout the group meeting to ask those questions. So, thank you for sharing your story, and letting us hear your story about your daughter. Um, I did have one question. Are her doctors, or are they in contact with Dr. Masao and MD Anderson?
We contacted him about 2 days after diagnosis. We emailed him. He copied his whole team, and so they have praised her oncology team and given his approval. And he looked over her treatment plan and over her scans and over her biopsies. And so I did just email him. I have an inside person to them, but I did email him her latest PET scan as well. And he said, so yeah, they've made themselves available and have said that they would see us if we ever needed to, and that they would look at anything via email. But yes, they've been very responsive and helpful. If I email them at 11:30 my time, I know that when I wake up at 5:36 in the morning, they will respond. So
Good.
because of LV's, I don't know if I explained, LV has a second, what brought her to the hospital was her liver numbers. So she has portal hypertension because of her liver condition, and hepatology says it's an autoimmune hepatitis, whereas her oncology team thinks that they may not be so true, that it might just be the cancer having damaged her her liver. So she doesn't qualify for any trials because of the underlying liver condition. But when they gave us those PET scan numbers, and her RNC, her antigen 125 was still probably 150, 190 then. But I don't think I've ever seen a bigger smile on a person, except for the day that he called. He came in and explained that everything was shrinking or gone, because it was in her lymph nodes, it's in her bones, it's in her lungs, it's in her liver. And so but yeah, so they do communicate with us. Yep.
Okay. All right. Good. Again,
Misty, I have a question, if that's okay.
Of course.
How is she holding up? If I'm hearing the list that you mentioned, like the epilepsy and the liver and the cancer, and if as an adult that would be so overwhelming. So how is she doing with all of that?
So yeah, well, on top of it all, she got 2 bed sores in ICU,
Oh my
honestly.
gosh.
So the actually majority of the time, the only pain she has is her wounds. It's been a
Mhm.
horrible summer. There's a movie out right now. It's called The Summer I Was Pretty, or The Summer I Turned Pretty. I think LV would label this one day as the summer I had not cancer, but the summer I had bed sores, or stage. It's a stage 4 wound. It doesn't get any
Mm.
worse than what she got. But so she's in counseling. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's contentious because she lives between 2 houses, and her dad and I
Yeah.
don't always get along. But
Mhm.
he comes to my house and lets me go to work, and he has a wife at home. So I'm a single parent.
Mhm.
But LV is very resilient. She's very smart. Um, and we just let her, you know, be angry when she needs to be angry,
Yeah.
and let her cry when she doesn't know why she's crying. And that was really hard, especially in the last 2 weeks as we weaned her off the methadone, because, you know, at any given time she's on 17 medications. So sometimes you don't know if it's a medicine or her. But so yeah, because we couldn't travel anywhere this year, I bought a golf cart. I live in a golf cart community outside of Atlanta, and I've been teaching my 12-year-old how to drive a golf cart. That's been our summer fun. Um, so I I'm sure all of you can identify. We just didn't. There's been no choice but to get up every day and go do what they say we had to do. So, you know, the doctor told me, you know, that the prognosis wasn't good, and I'm like, you've told me 3 times now, but it didn't matter to me because it did better, right? So, um, so yeah, we take care of her spirit as much as we can, and she's an amazing kid before this. So
Sounds it.
yeah,
My God, sounds it.
Hmm.
yeah. We appreciate any prayers and well wishes, and
You
you know,
got
like I
them in
said,
this group.
Yes, yes,
mhm.
most definitely.
Thanks.
Definitely keep her in our prayers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Um, Miss Richie, we won't have anybody else new on the group, do it? Did I miss anybody that's new? Is Miss Richie, she
Is
still
she
with
frozen?
us? I think she's frozen over there.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, well,
I
we're gonna,
I don't think we do, but
okay, all right, we're gonna move right along. So, I'm gonna try to, oh, Miss Richie lost power. Uh, she'll be back. Um, so I'm gonna move right along. So, once I come, you just, if you don't mind, just giving, Misty a quick introduction, just your association with RMC and any updates or any questions you may have for the rest of the group um, would be great. So we're gonna start with Lakeisha. You're on mute, Lakeisha.
I'm unmuted.
Okay.
Right now, I was just kind of like, right now we're at a situation where she's having fluids like drain off of different organs and things like that. She's got a drain from her heart cavity, from her lungs cavity. They're saying that they just switched chemo because the fluid started picking up, and they were saying that that was all signs of the cancer. So, from Texas there, Dr. M, he did recommend a different route, which we're taking right now. I just kind of wanted to know if there's anyone else that's kind of had those experiences with these drains, with these fluids. I know also Misty just mentioned that her daughter is being pulled off of the methadone now. My daughter is on methadone, morphine, um, it's like two or other drugs, but they keep switching things around quite a bit because the pain just keeps changing and things like that, and kind of like what kind of medications or things are changing for you guys. Um, just kind of just like comparison, like what things work, what helps, and like kind of what our expectations is. Like you all said, you just don't know what to expect. It's like every day something changes. My daughter just turned 25 like last week, and she was, for a whole week she was on like steroids where she was doing really well, and then it was just like a crash, and the day before her birthday we ended back up in the hospital in ICU with, they're saying like they believe that it's growing into her spine. Today she's got this really bad headache where they just took her down for CTs. I don't really have questions. It's all so new and it changes so much. It's just good to hear you guys' stories and things like that.
Okay.
By the way, she is back. I'm telling you, you have a phone. I can sit it there. It's a group. Here you go.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh,
Hi, everybody.
how are
Hey.
you?
hi,
I'm
Fran.
could be better.
You'll get there.
That's right.
So, does everybody in this group have the same type of cancer, the renal medullary carcinoma?
We're all associated with it. Um, a few of us were diagnosed with it, and some of us are caregivers to family members who were diagnosed or in some capacity. So we're all associated with RMC. That's correct. I was definitely in your shoes uh, back in 2019, 5. Um, so I know this journey can definitely be hard, but I definitely came out on the other end. Um, and my uh, cancer, no evidence of disease, and it's been like that for 4 years now. But definitely, I've been through the chemo treatments, I've been through immunotherapy, radiation, um, all of those, trials and different cancer drugs, and definitely came out on the other end. So there is, you know, I know when I first read about RMC, it was a bad prognosis, and uh, they thought it was, unbeatable, uncurable, stuff like that, whatever. But there's definitely a lot more people that's really beating RMC. Myself, and there's another guy on the call, Brian, as well, who I'll let him share his good news with you later, but he definitely is another one who were in your shoes, came out another end. So, stay encouraged as much as you can, and lean on your mom is there for support, lean on others for support, and we're gonna be praying for you. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
I think Brian should share some encouragement next because you and Brian are so encouraging.
Yes.
And
All right.
especially to Misty too.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, go ahead.
Brian.
Okay. All right. So I was diagnosed with RMC back in 2021, a few days before my birthday in April. Um, I went through multiple rounds of chemo, different regimens. I went through radiation therapy, um, and it was a rough ride. But as of about October of last year, I've been NED, no evidence of disease. Um, I had scans last week. Actually ran into Andre at MD Anderson,
Mhm.
and everything was good. Everything's still clear. So I'm happy. I'm very fortunate. It's with the help of this group here. When I first got diagnosed, I didn't know anything about RMC. I didn't know there was a group. I didn't know anything about it. And it's actually my wife. She found Dr. Masal. She found this group here, and it made everything better to know that other people have gone through, what I've gone through as well. So that's why we're all here, to offer advice to help you guys any way we can. So yeah.
Uh, thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you for sharing, Brian. Definitely encouraging to see, other people, uh, beat this disease. And, I spoke with Dr. Masal, and, he had a whole team of young researchers and other, oncologists with them or whatever. And they're really passionate about, finding a cure for RMC and finding new research on different cancer drugs and stuff like that. So he's really encouraged about the progress, even from a few years ago to now. Um, there's a lot of different treatments available, um, and we're gonna keep pushing this. We're gonna keep pushing it. We're gonna keep pushing the envelope until there's definitely a cure, and no one has to go through this journey to even have to come out on the other side. Uh, So
Yeah, that's definitely.
Andre, I think Heather has a great story to tell as well.
Yes.
is Heather
She was putting the baby to sleep, but there she is.
okay.
I'm here now.
Okay, Heather.
Um, Congratulations, Andre and Brian. That's awesome to hear that you guys, are still cancer free and whatnot. And it gives everybody hope. I know whenever you guys get on and someone says, oh, I've got scans coming up or I just had them. I don't know about you guys, but I sit there and I just cross my fingers, just hoping and hoping, they're going to say I'm still cancer free. Um, it's nice to meet you, Misty, and I want you to know I'll be praying for your little girl. She sounds like a real fighter. But anyway, I'm Heather. I was diagnosed with RMC in 2023, January. I was 24 at the time. Like your daughter, Misty, I had like a lot of back pain, some blood in my urine. I went to have a CT scan. They found my cancer. At that time, it was only in my kidney, so they decided to go ahead and take my entire kidney. Um, Whenever I got to the hospital to have my kidney removed, I found out that I was pregnant. My team went ahead and removed my entire kidney because they assumed that I had clear cell carcinoma because I don't carry the sickle cell trait, and um, I'm not really at, I mean, everybody's at risk for cancer, but I'm not as at risk for this cancer. But the biopsy came back and it was RMC. Once they removed my kidney before chemo, my cancer started to spread like wildfire. It spread to my lymph nodes and my abdomen. My lungs were covered. I had 9 rounds of chemo while I was pregnant, and then I had 11 additional rounds after I had my baby in September. I had 32 radiation treatments that I just completed at MD Anderson, and I have been off of chemo since May, and I had my last radiation the middle of June. And I go back to MD Anderson a week from tomorrow for my scans. Dr. Massell is pretty sure that I'm cancer free. I'm too afraid to say that until I get my PET scan. But he told me that I could have my port removed, so I don't think he would have told me that if he wasn't sure that it was gone. But the next time we all meet, I will update you guys, and hopefully I will get to tell you I'm cancer free, and I feel better right now than I have felt, and I don't know when. I feel wonderful right now, so I'm really excited for next week.
Tell them about your baby.
Oh, my baby, she's perfect. Not to be biased, but she's perfect. She will be 1 in 3 weeks. She was born September 3rd. She was 4 pounds at birth. She spent 3 weeks in the NICU and came home, and you would never know that I got chemo while I was pregnant. She actually took her first steps today, so we've got a walker. So I can't wait to bring her back to the RMC walk. I have recruited a ton of people to come back with me in March. So Miss Ritchie, whenever you have that date, let me know.
Definitely. I'm working on it now.
Thanks for sharing, Heather. Man, every time I hear your stories, it blows my mind, man. Being chemo and pregnant, and man, that's uh, that's tough. Thank you for sharing. Very encouraging, very encouraging. So um,
That's incredible,
really,
Heather. Wow, thank you for sharing that. If it's okay, I wanted to respond to Lakeisha when she asked or mentioned earlier about the
mhm.
different pain management and in the drains. My daughter was in ICU for the lungs for 3 weeks, intubated because there was so much fluid. She was hemorrhaging internally, and then she did have a belly drain for 2 months. They just called it a stasis in third fluid from the third zone or third, what do they call that? Cavity. It's not fluid from each organ. They just called it third space. I don't know the proper word for it, but they do have to change the meds for Ayana because your body builds up a tolerance. So Elvie went through that. She was on ketamine, she was on morphine, um, she was on all of them. And then when we started weaning her off, she went to the sorry, I forget the names because there's so many drugs. But yeah, so eventually you have to come off, and then so I think that's the pain management team was amazing for us in explaining to us. And there were times where I advocated for her because we were trying to wean her off and they wanted to change the drugs again, and I just said that's not the game plan is to do this. I don't think we should be changing the drugs again. And so I would just ask questions, uh, take up space, and don't be afraid to advocate for your daughter. Fiercely advocate for them. Um, Children's Hospital Atlanta is amazing, except for when they weren't, and it was only a few times. But and that's I think because they are so amazing at what they do, the few times that they were not on top of things or almost made mistakes, it was because we wouldn't leave her room. I mean, she's much younger than Ayana, but uh she needs that advocate, someone to advocate for her, and you need someone as well. I would say you can't do it alone. You definitely need support. um so
Okay, thank you for that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing. We're gonna go to Jennifer. Do you have anything that you would like to share with us or any updates?
Oh yeah, hi. I wanted to say hi to everybody and congrats, Gray, Brian, Heather, on you're being disease free. Misty, great, great news about your daughter. Um, want to say hi to Keisha and Anna. And you had a question, Lakeisha, about other people with fluids as well. So my son has been having issues with fluid belly where the cancer has spread to his peritoneum and omentum. And so he's been dealing with fluids. He's been drained twice in his abdomen, and he was drained once in one of his lungs. Right now, his lungs seem to be clear of fluids or very minimal. And we think that might have been because of the amount of he did have in his belly. But he's going Friday for another one, and we're just gonna see like how quickly it fills back up to see whether or not they actually want to put a drain in. But I just want to that my son Antonio is dealing with that as well. So, we know what you're feeling there. Um, I know the last time I spoke was Saturday when he was in the hospital, and I was pretty emotional that day. That after he started his third kind of treatment, the pneumo, I always say it wrong, the panitumumab. Um, and so he had that infusion on Saturday, and just shortly after that, he was having a lot of problems with his heart rate went up to like in the 160s. He was having trouble breathing, and so he was in Boston in the hospital, and they just worked so quick with like all the testings. Like they did so many tests, scans, ultrasounds. um they were just great and wonderful as far as how fast they moved, and they did find several blood clots in his lungs. They don't believe it had anything to do with the treatment, but they immediately put him on blood. He's been doing okay. They're supposed to, resolve. When he was in the hospital, um, find that it had, spread more in his peritoneum, and he did have some lesions showing up on his liver now. I think two different areas. Um, but since been, he was discharged that Monday, and he's had the treatment every week. So he's had 3 treatments of the panitumumab, and his CA-125 has gone down. So in the hospital, it was about 579, and now it's down to like 265. Physically, his labs are looking better. So Dr. Masal and his team here in Boston are pretty sure that he's responding to that treatment, which is great. And if we can get his nutrition in check, he's on a break right now for another week. So on the 26th, they're going to see, if everything is going well with his labs and everything, they're going to add chemos to the mix and see where that brings them. But, roller coaster for sure. Day by day, we're just taking it, we have good days, bad days, and, yeah. I look forward to groups,
Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing. Yeah, I understand the journey. Definitely gonna have some good days and bad. Just try to stay as positive as you can, and we're definitely gonna keep you and your son in our prayers moving
you.
forward. So thank you for sharing. And
You.
Miss Ritchie, I think we talked about this before, but possibly getting like a nutritionist, maybe to come on a group, uh, talk about you know
We can
nutrition.
do that. I'll
Okay.
work on that for the next meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Um, and any specialists or anybody that that y'all want to hear more from, feel free to let us know, and we'll try to get them on these RMC support group calls as well. I know a few weeks back we had Dr. Masal on. Um, we also had the radiation
Dr.
oncologist on.
Dr. Tang.
Dr. Tang, the radiation oncologist on as well. So um, any nutritionist or any area um, of the journey that y'all think would be beneficial to y'all, let us know and we'll try to get them on the call so they can, if you have questions, you can ask them directly. Um, so yeah. Um, Aisha, are you with us?
Aisha wrote in the chat, Gregory's sleeping and stuff, so she's just a spectator.
Okay, okay.
It's hard for Aisha. I know she's
Yeah,
struggling over
normally,
For her not to talk, like, I mean,
normally
I
she'll pop
know.
in and say a few
She's taking
words.
care of her baby. That's what matters.
That's what
That's
she's
right.
doing. She loves her baby.
We love you, Aisha.
We do.
Definitely. As always, you and Gregory, in our prayers, and definitely rooting for him, in his journey. Um, Carissa, you want to give like a little background how you associated with RMC for Misty? Anything you want to share with the group?
Sure. So back in 2016, after 6 months after I married my husband, he was diagnosed with RMC. We live in New Jersey, and he was getting treatment in New York City and New York Presbyterian for a little bit. Went through different treatments up here in New York, and then eventually, came to Texas at MD Anderson. Um, and he has several treatments over there. We got the pleasure to meet Richie and attend the walk. And then in 2020, he was on I was saying March. Was on a clinical trial, and then we were in Texas while he was on the clinical trial, and then he got was it in the hospital, had a had a stroke and passed away, like in MD Anderson during crazy when it was like during COVID times. That's like my association with that. But I've had like he had uh different treatments, went through different things. And I know Lakeisha, you were talking about just like different pains, like some of the things he was able to do to help slightly alleviate like he got acupuncture and medical massages, so that like that helped relieve the pain a little bit with the like that. No, he still would have the medication, but that the help will like alleviate it like somewhat.
Thank you, Carissa, for sharing. Carissa and her husband Carlos were, one of the first people I met when I came down to Houston. I didn't, I was coming down my first time for treatment, and man, just the light, and he was able to calm, some of my fears, and man, uh, linked me up with Miss Ritchie, and now we got a whole support group. So you just never God, man, working definitely mysterious ways, and so yeah, I just wanted to share that note about Carlos. Definitely a light. Um, okay.
Andre, I just saw we have the special guest arrive.
Oh, special guest Elvie.
LB.
Elfie.
It said it's really glitchy and sounds choppy. LV, can you go into another room? Maybe your internet is low. She tried calling me about 10 minutes ago, and I told her I was on this call, and she said, I know, I wanted to join. So I sent her the link.
Awesome. We're so proud of her.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful young lady, and as Misty says, she is so intelligent. Just a sweetheart. This is
So
the
she's going to
part
try to go to another room. Yeah, I'm texting her
Okay.
while we're all waiting for her to appear, or at least be able to speak if she can't get a strong enough signal to. We have volume, no? Or maybe she's joining from a laptop at the same time, because I see her here twice now.
Mhm.
she's trying.
She is trying.
While Elvie is trying to get in, we had an opportunity to meet the professor himself. Mr. Rick Davis was in town. He was in H-Town last week. What an honor.
Rick, definitely honored to see Rick down in Houston, Texas.
H-Town.
I was in H Town, and it was just a thrill to meet Richie and a thrill to meet Captain Andre, and fantastic. I mean, it was lovely. I'm sorry I didn't meet any other Houstonites, Houstonians, or
Houstonians.
temporary what?
Houstonians. You got it right.
Estonians, yes, and didn't meet any other temporary Estonians. And I didn't really get to see much of Houston. And then Dr. E said to me, she was she felt bad that she hadn't taken me around. I said it was just fine. Don't worry about it.
You just have
And
to come back.
yeah, and I gotta come back. Um, but it was good to see everybody, and our conference went I think it went well. Um, you'll have to ask Miss Alexa because I can't judge. But the one thing we did find out today is that all of the presentations were recorded, and they're going to put them out on a service called View Medi, which is really only available to the medical profession, and they show these little talks that people have given. Except that I managed to get it, but I think it was because I signed up for ASCO, GU ASCO, but I don't know. But Alexa, I asked Alexa to work on seeing if we can
But
have
but
the
I
talk.
see I already did that prior to, and they always usually post them on YouTube, but at a later date.
Okay, fantastic. So you'll be able
So
to see
you eventually,
how we did,
just not
right?
now, but later.
Not now, but we you will be able to see how we did. So that was it. And a big and a huge thank you to Boston Gene.
Yes.
Boston Gene is Boston Gene is supporting Dr. Masoul with all of the genomic sequencing that each of the people in the new trial is going through, and they're not charging for that, and we've started to reach out to them. We hope eventually that we'll get a sponsorship from them, um, and I thought the Italian lady was very nice,
Francesca.
Francesca. She was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, her boss had COVID. Otherwise, he would have been
He
there
was
too.
very distraught because he wanted to meet some of the RMCers in person. And I will say, because I got to talk to both of them, they do have a real passion for this community, which I really praised both of them for. Because I'm like, I wish more people did, a little shade there. But I'm like, I said, I really appreciate that. And I said, it goes a long way in this community, and they seem really committed, and there's some stuff in the pipeline because I talked with them about that, some interesting research and stuff coming out from them from the test if you submitted some stuff, if you got sequenced and stuff. So that's interesting, just FYI, I learned that.
Yeah, and I got to give Miss Ritchie a hug in person. That was such a honor and a privilege. It was great. Um, was so happy to meet you in person, Richie. It was really
Oh,
great.
same here, Rick. I would not have missed it for the world.
We'll do it again. We'll figure out. We're working on one in LA now. So if any there are any RMC people in Los Angeles, we're having a get together on the Friday
Thanks.
evening, the 6th of September. So get hold of Alexa, and we'll clue you in on that.
Our plane will travel.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for the
Thank
update.
you, and thank you for scheduling your scan so I could get to meet you, Andre. That was just the best.
I
Yep.
screamed when he walked in, for the record. I did scream
I heard you.
because I usually only get to see Andre once a year at the walk. So the fact that I've gotten to see Andre twice in a year, it's a good year. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Definitely good to see you too, Alexa and Rick. Definitely good to you know, see you in person. Hear the voice and the man behind the voice. So it's definitely good to see you in person. And man, thank you for all you do for RMC for
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's an
giving us.
honor.
So yes, thank you. Okay, it's do we
So
have
you
Yeah, we
guys diagnosed at a young age. How did you guys go about coping with that? Like, it's devastating for me. I have three young kids. I just constantly think about everything being my last potentially. Like, it's so hard for me to just like live my life because I constantly feel like my birthday will be my last birthday, or this Christmas will be my last Christmas, or getting my kids ready for school might be the last time I get my kids to school. Like, how do you get through that? How do you push through the sadness of constantly feeling like you're gonna die?
um a lot of us were definitely, you know what I'm saying, in your shoes. Um they gave me. I remember it like it was yesterday. The oncologist came in the room after I had my kidney removed and said, I asked him what's my prognosis. He told me to get my affairs in order.
That's
That
they
that
told me they told me a year or less.
yes, he told me 4 months, and I'm a living testimony. I'm here 5 years later, but I was once laying in a hospital bed just like you. So, um, and then I remember it like it was yesterday. Two social workers had came down to the room, and I saw this article. Herman Connor was diagnosed and was able to beat this disease, and that gave me hope to that I can beat it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all humans. We're all equal. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about Herman. We're just blessed to have an opportunity to go through this journey and come out on the other end. But that did give me hope and gave me a little, when I saw that article, I was like, okay, somebody has already beat this. So it's possible. And now I stand before you right now telling you, hey, it is possible to come out on the other end. Brian is a witness. Heather is a witness as well. We were all in your position before. We all were laying in the hospital bed. We all got that, you know, first prognosis from our oncologist, letting us know how bad RMC was. Well, guess what? We beat it, and so can you. It's many more others out there as well. Uh, and Ms. Ritchie can attest to this. There's others that have beat this as well. So um, just stay encouraged. You definitely can come out on the other end. Just stick to your regimen and listen to your doctor, listen to Dr. Masal and um, your other oncologists, and definitely don't never take doctors at their word. They're you know they're men just like the rest of us. Your faith will get you over. So. Uh, Stay positive, stay strong, keep pushing. Don't never throw in the towel. Don't never throw in the towel because you definitely can come out on the other side. So that's my personal advice to you.
Okay, thank you.
And it is normal, Ayana, to have the emotional ups and downs that you're experiencing, but you have three babies that you have to fight for.
Hmm.
So, they can tell you you have a year to live, but they don't know.
Exactly.
Believe in the higher power, and just don't give in. You can do it. We're here to support you.
That's right.
So just hang in there. Hang in there.
It seems like every time I turn around, it's spreading. And it's getting sicker. So I got to feel it spreading through my body. It's so scary and hard to stay positive through that.
And it's okay to feel that way. I mean, I too went through it with my son. Chris was diagnosed in 2011. And back then, there were no treatment modalities for individuals with RMC. They gave him 3 to 4 months to live, but he did live 15 months without any treatment specifically for patients with RMC. Today, we have several treatment modalities. If this is one thing is not working, there's something else. So just, you know, believe and keep the faith to get through this. You got your mom. A strong support system is extremely important. You have us. You can call me anytime. So even when you're feeling down, feel free to call one of us. Just reach out to us. We're here for you.
Okay.
I have a quote I want to share. I have it pulled up. Let me just share it real quick. I don't know if you can see my screen,
We can see
but
We can,
okay, this is from one of our advisory board members who's incredible. And so it says, this is a tweet by someone, 6 years ago today, I was diagnosed with terminal prostate cancer. Got told I had 2.5 years to live. Still here and still kicking it. So you know what you can go do, cancer. And she responded. And this is precisely why when I get asked the dreaded survival question, I respond. I am the wrong entity to ask. Docs are not deities. Although some think they are. That's very true.
hmm
All I can do is promise to be by your side. Keep on proving that point and everyone wrong. And that's the thing. I think if you ask everybody in this room, there's so many people. And I even remember with Carlos Carissa, when we were in the support group together, they were giving him dates and stuff that he surpassed. You know, doctors can tell you a whole bunch of things, but you don't have an expiration date written on you. You don't at all. Um, so that's the whole thing. Andre is still going, and they gave him an expiration date. Brian's still going. They probably told him it wasn't good. And that's the whole thing is like, and Richie can also attest to, because she's been in this community the longest, things continue to get better and better and better. And we keep on fighting and we keep on showing up and we keep on doing it.
How about you, Heather? I bet they gave you one too, and look at you now.
They did. They told me that I had about 7 months left. And that was in January of 2023. So technically a year ago, I should have died, but I'm better off now than I was then. And Ayana, I know you can be too. But I will say this, mother to mother, I know what you're feeling right now, and it's the hardest thing in the world being a mom and going through this. You can't really explain it unless you're in that position. But please know that I am going to pray for you, and just know that stage 4 is not a death sentence.
thank you.
And Heather, for Heather and Ayana and all the other ladies in this group, we have, and Alexa will talk about it in a minute. We have a Women Speaking Freely group coming up, I think, in a week or so. And for the guys, we have a Men Speaking Freely group. Those are the groups we run where you can talk about everything and anything except treatment. We don't talk about treatment in there, but Heather and Ayana and Misty, if you want to come to that group, um, just we do have a reminder. You can sign up on the website for the reminder, and or let Alexa know, and she'll make sure you get the reminder. We'd love to see the ladies and women speaking freely, and the men's is this week. The men's group is this Thursday. It's not in this room; it's in our other room. But we'd love to see some of the RMC gents.
Women
In
is in this room. We're in this
Oh,
room
yes.
now.
Women speaking freely is in this room, but men speaking freely is in the other room. Say a few words about women speaking freely.
Yeah, it's pretty much just what Rick said. We just talk about any and everything. I mean, I can tell you that we literally talk about anything, and whatever's on your mind, you can bring it and we will talk about it.
All right.
Is Elvie able to talk yet?
Sorry. I texted LV and she said she wanted to listen and she wanted to listen today. I think, she's used to doing school remotely, so she just wanted to listen today. But the women speaking freely might be more comfortable for her. But she's happy to be here and to join. Thank you.
Well, you are welcome to come. You're more than welcome to come, and we're glad that you're here, and it's more than okay to just listen in right now.
That's right. We are here for support for everyone. So if you want to just listen, you'll feel free to just listen. Perfectly fine with that. So thank you for joining us, LV. Miss Ritchie, do you have an update or anything you want to share with the group?
The only thing is, I just ask that you keep Julia and Brady and Antonio lifted in prayer. Um, they're going through a little bit right now, so um, just don't forget about them.
That's right.
And I don't think I have anything else to say right now.
Okay. Um, does anyone else have any other questions? Did we answer anything, everything that was on everyone's mind tonight?
I think I got one more question.
Okay.
My mom was talking about the fluids and the things like that. Um, I basically was told that the fluids are slowing down. Has there ever been a situation where you guys had the tubes removed and it came back and like came back stronger? Because I'm like terrified that they're gonna remove these tubes and the fluid's gonna come back or the chemo's not gonna work because I started a new chemo that the doctor C.W. Anderson or whatever his name is had recommended for us to start. Um, and it did slow down the fluids, but I'm just terrified that they're gonna remove the tubes and the fluids are gonna come back even stronger. And then I'm not sure like what they're gonna do at that point because I've already went through the infections with the tubes, um, the spreading of it to my heart, having to be in the ICU for 10 days, and just so much with the fluid in my heart and my lungs to the point where like I don't know if I can handle it. Like my breathing is terrible right now. I've never had an asthma pump or anything before. Being admitted here now, I'm doing breathing treatments. On oxygen all day. I have BiPAP. I just like I don't know what to do or how to feel about it. Like terrifies me. Everything is just so new. And has anybody else went through that where the flu went away and came back?
I
Misty,
can share
go ahead.
again. I because we just went through this, and I would, if Elvie wants to jump in and tell her own story and cut me off, that's fine. But uh, for Elvie, they recommended that she move around as much as possible because laying down, the fluid will collect in different parts. But I think it took 6 weeks to get her abdominal drain out, but they didn't remove it until she went like 5 or 7 days with no collection. But when they first put it in there, she was getting 2,000 cc's every 3 hours. The amount of the volume of fluid that was coming out was like, where is this coming from? Um, but you know, if they told us to get up and move, then we got her up and moved her so that as much of it would come out. It did not. She did not have it to go back, but she has struggled at times with some bloating that they attribute to that stasis or that the extra fluid that's just floating around. But she also stayed in ICU 3 weeks because of the fluid in her lungs because they couldn't clear it and they couldn't take her off um, breathing tube until that was clear. So she's went through everything you're going through, or you know, to the same degree or a severe degree. but she never had to have the she even had an infection from her drain, but she did not have to go back on a drain. Um,
Jesus.
if that answers your question.
Yes. Yes.
I wanted to ask one more thing too. Ayana, do you have the supportive care team coming in to visit you?
Thank you. I'm sorry. A nurse was asking a question. What was?
No, I was asking, has the supportive care team been in to visit you where they try to adjust your medication? Um,
They
they,
call it palliative care.
yeah,
Um,
it's the same thing.
yep. They come every day. Because my pain management is so different every day. Today I might be okay, and tomorrow nothing works. Um, they're constantly changing medicine. They're constantly moving me from morphine to methadone to higher dosage to lower dosages to just constantly Dilaudid, doubling the Dilaudid. Um, just to the point where I just know, like they ask me, "Hey, how is this working?" I don't know. It's, sometimes it does, and sometimes it just doesn't. And I just, it's hard.
I'm sure.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, where do I go from here? Like, I don't even know how to tell them to help me. I'm just constantly racking my brain, trying to figure out what works for me, what didn't work, what could potentially be better. Because they're asking me, do I think they should go up on the dosage, or if they should go back to an old medicine and go up on that dosage, or if they should completely try a new medicine, or, and I don't know. Like I want someone that's gonna know what's gonna work for me instead of having to ask for me. Ask me what's gonna work because I have no clue what's gonna work.
And everybody is so different too, and that may be why they're asking, they're trying everything that they can, and eventually will come up with the right cocktail that will help you feel better. But it's usually a very good team of people.
Yeah, I have a pretty good team. I just the pain just changes so much. That's like the hardest part because they could find something that works. I'll feel good for a week or two, and then it'll go right back to feeling like nothing works.
Ayana, have they tried the fentanyl patches with you?
They have. I went all the way up to about 150 milligrams.
Okay.
Yeah, micrograms or something like that. I'm not sure, but 150. With the Dilaudid, 6 milligrams every 2-3 hours.
Have them to come in and give you a massage too.
I don't know if they offer that here. I would have to.
Yeah, that'd be good. Or yeah, with the acupuncture too. Like I would ask on.
Yeah, the acupuncturists really seem to help Chris along with them adjusting his medication.
Well, you definitely gave me some faith, Misty. Um, they're talking about removing these tubes within the next couple days and allowing me to go home. So I missed my 25th birthday. I've been in since the day before my birthday, and I just want more than anything to just have birthday cake with my kids. And you definitely
When's your
gave me a.
birthday, Ayana?
My birthday was August 2nd, and I've been here since August. Um, and I had an unknown release date for so long because I'm just now getting out of the ice like 2 days ago. Um, so they're about letting me out maybe this Friday.
We're going to pray that you get home because I know the children are missing you too.
Mhm.
But
I
you're
miss them.
fortunate too to have your mommy by your side.
I'm lucky. I'm blessed to have her because I would really be here by myself without her. So
You never get too old for us. All right, Andre.
All right. Do anybody have any more questions or anything else they would like to share? If not, we're gonna wrap up the meeting.
I really appreciate it coming in.
Saturday's meeting.
Saturdays.
That's gave me a little bit of hope. It's something to look forward to because, like you said, they tell you like this is not curable. They tell you that there's no. They just make it feel like there's no hope. Like this is the end of the rope for you. You you found out at stage 4, too late, and that feeling is just devastating. So to hear that you guys are doing better, to hear that there's actually some light at the end of the tunnel, like it just changed so much for me.
Most definitely. Um, are we doing the fourth Saturday, Miss Richard?
Yes, it would be August 24th.
August 24th. Okay. Um, thank you, everyone, for sharing your experiences and for the questions. As always, we're gonna keep you in our thoughts and prayers. The next RMC group will be Saturday, August 24th at 10 Central, correct? Is it 10
Correct.
Central?
Correct.
10 a.m. Central. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. Um, try to, stay as positive as possible. I know that may be difficult sometimes, but we're definitely here with you, here for your support. Um, if you got any questions, feel free to contact us, contact me. I have my phone number to the chat. Um, but we're definitely here to uplift you, um, help move you forward. We're here with you. You're not alone in this journey. So stay encouraged. Um, all right, that's it.